Today, I will be discussing how Juhayna food industries successfully transformed supply chain disruptions into a strategic advantage following the challenges faced in 2022. This presentation explores the impact of the economic crisis on supply chains in Egypt and how resilience and strategic planning played crucial roles in maintaining a competitive edge. This project is part of the requirements for the MBA degree in supply chain management. I'm Amira Mohsen Abdel Fattah, joined by Haider Mohammed Ismail, and we are presenting our findings to Dr. Dalia Yunus for the academic year 2026 to 2027. On the agenda today, we'll start by looking at the broader economic context and the strategic shifts we've made in response. Then, we'll discuss the core challenges that Juhayna has been facing, which have shaped our approach moving forward. Next, we'll delve into our efforts around vertical integration and localization, key strategies to strengthen our position. Following that, we'll explore how we've enhanced operational resilience, particularly focusing on inventory management and distribution systems. We'll also review our recent financial performance to understand the impact of these initiatives. Finally, we'll wrap up with our conclusions and outlook for the future. This roadmap will guide us through the critical areas that define our current journey and future direction. In this section, we'll explore the core objective of our study, which is to understand how Juhayna food industries responded to the major economic and supply chain challenges that Egypt faced after 2022. Specifically, we're looking at how Juhayna transformed its supply chain from just a basic operational function into a key strategic advantage that helped them stay competitive. Our key findings highlight that by adopting a vertical integration model and significantly increasing their local sourcing, Juhayna was able to reduce the risks associated with currency devaluation and import restrictions. This approach not only enhanced their operational resilience, but also allowed them to act with strategic agility. Additionally, their focus on export-driven foreign exchange defense played a crucial role in sustaining strong market performance, even during this national economic crisis. This case clearly demonstrates the power of turning supply chain management into a strategic asset. Let's take a closer look at Egypt's economic crisis following 2022. One of the most striking issues was the major currency devaluation. The Egyptian pound lost a lot of its value against the US dollar, surpassing 50 pounds per dollar by 2024. This devaluation caused the cost of imports to skyrocket, hitting the economy hard since Egypt relies heavily on imported goods. Alongside that, there were severe import restrictions. Due to a shortage of foreign currency, the government imposed tight controls on imports, which created bottlenecks at ports. These delays had a direct impact on the availability of essential raw materials needed for various sectors, especially food production. Global inflation also played a significant role. After the COVID-19 pandemic and exacerbated by the Russia-Ukraine conflict, global prices for commodities like dairy feed and fuel surged. This made it even more expensive for Egypt to secure necessary imports, further straining the economy. All these challenges highlighted the fragility of Egypt's supply chains. The crisis revealed how vulnerable the country is due to its heavy dependence on international supply networks for critical food production inputs. This perfect storm of factors resulted in sharp economic and social pressures. Finally, if you look at Egypt's annual inflation rate during this period, the data from the World Bank and Central Bank of Egypt reflects these difficulties, showing a significant rise that impacted everyday life for many Egyptians. This inflation spike is both a symptom and a driver of the broader economic issues facing the country. Let's take a closer look at the SWOT analysis, starting with our strengths. One of our biggest advantages is full vertical integration, meaning we control the process from farm all the way to the consumer, which helps ensure quality and efficiency. We also have a nationwide refrigerated distribution network, enabling us to deliver fresh products promptly across the country. Our strong brand equity and loyal customer base are key assets that give us a competitive edge. Additionally, our operational agility allows us to effectively manage crises, keeping the business resilient under pressure. On the weaknesses front, we face high operational costs driven largely by energy consumption and logistics expenses. We also have some residual dependency on imported packaging components, which can expose us to supply chain disruptions. Alongside that, exposure to local currency fluctuations poses financial risks that we need to manage carefully. Moving to opportunities, there's significant potential in expanding into new export markets. This can help us generate foreign exchange and diversify revenue streams. Further localization of the supply chain is another important opportunity as it can reduce costs and reliance on imports. We're also focusing on digital transformation within our logistics and distribution systems to enhance efficiency and responsiveness. Finally, the threats we face include persistent foreign exchange volatility here in Egypt, which can impact costs and profitability. Declining consumer purchasing power, driven by inflation, threatens demand. And rising global commodity prices for raw materials continue to put pressure on our margins. Understanding these factors helps us make informed strategic decisions to navigate the challenges ahead. On this slide, we're looking at a significant strategic shift in how supply chains are perceived and managed. Traditionally, supply chains were seen primarily as back-office logistics functions, cost centers focused on efficiency and just-in-time delivery. Their role was largely reactive, providing operational support when needed, but not viewed as central to the overall business strategy. However, the landscape changed dramatically after 2022. Supply chains are now recognized as core strategic assets. Companies must prioritize risk management and continuity to ensure operations keep running smoothly, even in uncertain times. This has led to a shift towards resilience, adopting a just-in-case approach rather than just focusing on efficiency. This new perspective acknowledges supply chains as a competitive market advantage. The insight here is clear. Companies that control their supply chains were the ones that survived recent global disruptions, while those heavily dependent on imports struggled. This is especially relevant in the Egyptian market, where understanding and leveraging supply chain strategy can make all the difference in navigating today's challenges. Here we see the specific challenges Juhayna has faced, particularly focusing on operational disruptions and market pressures. Firstly, packaging material shortages posed a significant threat. The critical scarcity of imported carton rolls and plastic caps put the continuity of their dairy and juice production lines at risk. Alongside this, there were major delays in raw materials, with shipments of dairy feed and fruit concentrates held up due to port congestion and complex import licensing requirements. On the market and financial side, securing U.S. dollars for international payments became increasingly difficult, leading to higher procurement costs and overall financial uncertainty. At the same time, high inflation eroded consumers' purchasing power, forcing Juhayna to carefully manage the balance between passing increased costs to customers and maintaining sales volume. Ultimately, Juhayna's manufacturing facility had to navigate these global supply chain challenges and severe local economic issues, with the primary goal of keeping production running without interruption. Our core strategy revolves around vertical integration, embracing a farm-to-consumer model to control the entire value chain and build maximum resilience. Starting at the farms, we have direct oversight of the raw milk supply, ensuring top quality from the very beginning. Moving into production, we utilize state-of-the-art processing and manufacturing facilities to maintain high standards and efficiency. For packaging, managing critical packaging lines in-house allows us to maintain control and flexibility. When it comes to distribution, we operate a nationwide refrigerated logistics fleet, guaranteeing product freshness all the way to the consumer. This approach significantly reduces our dependence on external global suppliers, which is especially important during times of market volatility. It also grants us strategic agility, enabling faster decision-making throughout the entire production cycle. Finally, from a cost perspective, this integration helps us better manage margins by cutting out middleman markups, resulting in more competitive pricing and healthier profitability. Overall, vertical integration is central to delivering consistent quality, resilience, and efficiency. Here, we focus on localization and supplier expansion as key strategies to reduce import dependency. One significant move was shifting our sourcing approach from global procurement to reliable local Egyptian suppliers for essential packaging components like plastic caps and yogurt cups. This shift not only supports the local economy, but also enhances our supply chain resilience. Alongside this, we invested heavily in developing a strong network of local partners. We provide them with technical support to ensure that their quality standards meet or even exceed global benchmarks, which is crucial for maintaining product consistency. Another important benefit of sourcing locally is the effective hedge against foreign exchange volatility. By purchasing in Egyptian pounds, Juhayna has significantly minimized its risk related to currency fluctuations and the ongoing USD shortage crisis. Altogether, these initiatives have enabled us to reduce production stoppages, accelerate replenishment cycles, and ultimately lower our import dependency, making our operations more stable and efficient. Let's talk about how we're managing inventory and risk to build operational resilience. One key strategy is extending inventory days, meaning we're strategically increasing the amount of raw material stock we hold for longer periods. This helps us hedge against uncertainties like port delays and import restrictions, which can disrupt supply chains unexpectedly. Alongside that, we're optimizing safety stock by maintaining higher buffer levels for critical items, especially non-local inputs such as packaging cartons and fruit concentrates. These are essential materials that we can't afford to run out of, so keeping extra stock is vital for smooth operations. In terms of working capital management, we're deliberately prioritizing liquidity allocation to support what we call our survival inventory. This means we're focusing more on having enough stock to keep the business running, even if it means sacrificing some short-term cash efficiency. This shift turns buffer inventory from being seen as just a holding cost into a crucial survival strategy, especially important during volatile times like the foreign exchange crisis we faced. Ultimately, this is a strategic trade-off between maintaining continuity and maximizing efficiency, a balance that's essential for sustaining operations in uncertain environments. When it comes to distribution strength, Juhayna leverages its nationwide cold chain as a key advantage. They maintain direct control over one of Egypt's largest refrigerated transportation fleets, which ensures that the products stay fresh and intact from the factory all the way to retail stores. This level of control is critical in preserving product quality and safety. Another important point is Juhayna's ability to maintain uninterrupted shelf presence. While many competitors faced out-of-stock situations, Juhayna consistently ensured their products were available across all governorates. This reliable availability helped them stand out in the market during challenging times. Finally, this consistent presence and reliability strengthened customer trust and loyalty. Consumers came to see Juhayna as a dependable choice for their household needs, which significantly boosted the brand's equity. In essence, availability isn't just about being present on the shelf, it's a powerful competitive advantage. Our export strategy acts as a strong defense against foreign exchange risks by tapping into more than 32 global markets, including key regions like the Middle East and Africa, countries such as Sudan, Tunisia, and Libya, as well as parts of Europe like Germany and the Netherlands. By focusing on emerging markets expansion, we create a strategic FX shield, generating hard currency in the form of US dollars and euros. This is especially important because exports allow us to bypass local foreign currency shortages, securing a more stable financial footing. What's more, our approach creates a self-sustaining loop. The revenue from exports directly funds the import of essential raw materials and packaging components, ensuring our operations run smoothly without interruption. This also supports diversification of revenue streams, which reduces our dependence on the Egyptian market and provides a buffer against local economic volatility. A key element of this growth strategy is our focus on juice concentrates, which are in high demand across industrial segments and serve as a primary driver for our international expansion. Let's take a closer look at Juhayna's financial performance and its competitive edge in the market. First, we see robust revenue growth, which has been driven by smart market share gains and strategic pricing that help the company offset inflationary pressures. This shows a strong ability to adapt pricing without losing customers. Next, operational agility plays a crucial role. Juhayna has managed to maintain healthy margins through effective cost optimization and vertical integration, even in the face of soaring raw material costs. This operational strength has enabled them to stay resilient during challenging times. Additionally, Juhayna expanded its market share by capitalizing on opportunities where competitors faced difficulties like stockouts and production halts, demonstrating its reliability and responsiveness. As a result, their annual revenue has shown significant growth outperforming the average in the FMCG sector during the 2022 to 2023 crisis period. This slide really highlights how Juhayna's strategic moves and operational capabilities have secured its position as a leader in the industry. Here, we focus on strategic recommendations that prioritize long-term resilience over mere efficiency. In volatile emerging markets, it's crucial to build operational robustness. Holding just-in-case inventory can be more beneficial than strictly pursuing cost-cutting through just-in-time models, as it cushions against unexpected disruptions. Next, strategic localization is key. Reducing reliance on imports isn't just about saving costs. It's a vital risk management tactic to protect against foreign exchange fluctuations and global supply chain shocks. This approach strengthens stability and predictability in operations. Strategic agility also plays an essential role. The capability to quickly adjust procurement, distribution, and financial strategies, like implementing export FX defense, offers a sustainable competitive edge. Flexibility allows a company to respond effectively to changing market conditions. From the resource-based view, the integrated supply chain acts as a virile resource, meaning it is valuable, rare, difficult to imitate, and well-organized, which can significantly enhance competitive positioning. Finally, optimizing the value chain through vertical integration helps improve core activities, ensuring better margin protection. This combination of resilience, localization, agility, and leveraging unique resources sets a solid foundation for sustainable success. To wrap up, Juhayna turned a national economic crisis into a powerful advantage by embracing operational agility. Their smart mix of vertical integration, localization, and expanding exports helped create a strong financial and operational cycle that kept the company resilient. After 2022, strategic supply chain management clearly stood out as the key factor that separated market leaders from those who struggled. As the saying goes, in times of crisis, operational excellence becomes strategic leadership. Now, let's open the floor for discussion. Is supply chain resilience more important than short-term profits in emerging markets? Can vertical integration work long-term for all FMCG companies in Egypt, or is Juhayna's approach unique? And lastly, how can businesses manage the high costs of localization while maintaining global quality standards? I look forward to your thoughts and questions. Thank you all for your attention. I hope the information we covered was helpful and clear. Now, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Feel free to ask, and let's discuss any points you'd like to explore further.